You got it, Dustin. Thanks for the great intro. And heck yeah, it's always fantastic to see you at the event. So guys, Gary Stern, I'm based out of Melbourne, Florida, Indialantic, Florida, a little town on the beach down here in, on the east coast of Florida, not on the west coast. Everybody thinks I'm over there. I'm on the same side as Miami and Fort Lauderdale and all that, but the prettier portion of it. And, you know, Dustin gave you a little bit of my background, but I'm going to jump in. Before I start showing any slides tonight, I want to share with you kind of where I was at, right? So my background is physical therapy. I did that for 6 years, took care of professional athletes from all over the world. If you saw the rest of my office, you'd see posters and, you know, signed from all the different people I worked on, a hockey stick up there, some skis over there. So it's pretty cool that I had the opportunity to do all that. What I learned, though, was this. I was a slave to other people's schedules at that point, right? It was a dream job, but when your mom gets diagnosed with cancer and your dad gets diagnosed at the same time, you got to start thinking about other, you know, how can I make money and still be able to, you know, my dad passed away and still be able to take care of my mom, right? It was a full-time job, taking her from one appointment to the next to the next. And so that led me into pharmaceutical sales. And, you know, like Dustin said, I had a great career there. But you talk about not being very passionate about something. I mean, within 6 months, my passion in that industry was gone because I didn't really feel great about what I was doing. I mean, we were making a little bit of a difference, but honestly, at the end of the day, it really came down to numbers, and you're in true sales. So I don't know if there's any salesmen out there. I don't know if there's any other guys that were like me, like almost 40 years old at the point when this was introduced to me. I'd said no 28 separate times to this profession, right? I'm like, I don't do those things. Those are for people that can't get a real job. And I don't mean to belittle it now. Now I can't think of doing anything else. But at the time, I thought I had made it big, but I was going to sleep every night with some money in the bank, but not feeling very good about what I was doing. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. Honestly, at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I was making an impact. So I don't know if you guys felt that way. I also survived that 2008, 2009 thing and barely still had a job, right? They fired 65%. 2 out of 3 reps were gone. The size of my territory increased. I know a lot of people think in sales, that's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It meant that I had to cover a larger territory and they paid me less to do it. And it's much more difficult to control a larger territory than it is to control the market share of a smaller territory where you can get to build those relationships and everything else. So these are all things going through my head when my cycling coach says, hey, there's something that could help you recover faster. It's something that could help you still compete at 39, almost 40 years of age with the 20-year-olds. And I'm like, all right, if it's legal and ethical, I'm in. And he shared with me something that I'm going to share with you tonight called Protandim. Guys, as they say, the rest is history. I learned a lot more about this profession. This profession is all about personal growth and leadership and development and teamwork and building relationships and getting to do this with the people that you love. And so the coolest thing is, after saying no 28 times, I finally said yes. And I'm about to show you right now why. So give me just a second here. Let me fire this up.
I'm so glad you did say yes, man. I'm so glad that we get to work together on a regular basis, brother.
Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it, brother. All right, so can you see the screen okay there?
Looks great.
All right, rock and roll. So this is what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, and I guess I got to do these things, so I'm going to flip through that real quick. We're going to talk about flipping the switch. So if you remember nothing else from tonight, remember this. We're not talking about another supplement. I have so many people say that. I don't even like the word. Unfortunately, that's what it's labeled as because there's pharmaceuticals and there's supplements, right? There's just really 2 major classes. But think of this as a nutraceutical. Think of this as an activator, something that switches your body on. It flips that switch and turns your body on to do what it was supposed to naturally. So this is what was shared with me. And I already knew this part because of the medical background, right? I spent almost 20 years in the medical profession. That we're being hijacked all day long, that we're exposed to toxins everywhere in our food, in our water. I mean, let's face it, guys, our food supply is nowhere near what it used to be. There's so many processed foods and everything else. Personally, we're overworked. I mean, you talk about stress. I don't know about you, 2020, have we had a little bit of stress? Yes or yes? We've had a ton of stress this year. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are smoking more, they're drinking more, they're overworked. They may not have any work, and they're stressed about the fact that they have no income coming in right now. I get it. I get it. I lived those days in 2008, 9, and 10. So there's other toxins like the environmental pollutants that are getting us all day long, and other things like blue light. Normally I'd have my little funky yellow glasses on, but I didn't want you guys to think, who is that freak wearing these glasses, like staring back at you? You'd see the glare. You'd see yourself in here. So that's why we're not doing it. So here's the thing. You may not know this, but there's 85,000 chemicals that have been introduced over the last 100 years. That's like huge. That's huge, guys. 850 chemicals a year for the last 100 years, I think is what that works out to, if I'm doing the math correctly. That's one of the main reasons why our bodies, who used to be able to like overcome this and produce just the right amount of enzymes and gene production so that we could overcome this problem, that's why we used to be able to overcome it, and we can't anymore. Our bodies have become overpowered, right, by these things. So what it's done is it's basically turned the lights off, right? You can do your best. You can take antioxidants. Oh, I eat my fruits and vegetables, right? I eat healthy. I don't need those things. Or I exercise regularly. I don't need those things. Or I drink filtered water. I don't care what you're doing. Your body needs to be activated in order to the lights back on, right? So here are some of the things that you may be feeling, right? You may have problems with your immune system. Maybe you're getting sick all the time. Maybe you have this break, like, why did I go into the room? Where are my keys? What was I going to say? I don't know if this defines you, but when I was getting into my late 30s and early 40s, guys, some of these things were showing up all the time. Like, it was 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through the rest of the afternoon, right? Stress. Okay, when you start adding in responsibilities like families and houses and cars and jobs and all those things, and there's a whole bunch of people relying on you, I think you have a little bit more stress, right? Are you feeling me with this? How about your mood and the fatigue, right? Look at the lady in the picture. You're just like worn out. So what's happening? It's a cascade of problems that are happening in the body. There are scientific definitions for why those things are happening. It's not just stress. It's oxidative stress, right? It's your body rusting from the inside out. It's mitochondrial decline. You don't have the energy that you used to have. It's a decline in sirtuin activity. It's basically like the gears are getting all gunked up. There's a ton of problems, and that's what's turning these lights off. So since we've already discovered that we have genes in our bodies that can keep us healthy, the next step was to figure out if you could leverage those genes. If you could flip the switch, would you? I mean, that's a rhetorical question, guys. Everybody on the face of the earth would do that if they could. They turn those genes right back on. Why wouldn't you if you could leverage those genes to help take care of some of these problems? So I'm going to address the three of them very quickly. Oxidative stress. What in the heck is that word, right? Cellular aging. It's another word for it. It's when that cell starts to, you see, when the apple got a bite taken out of it, the skin, the protective barrier was removed, and it started to oxidize or yellow or basically age, right? That's what's happening to the cells in your body all day long. It's crazy. There's 250,000 clinical studies telling you how bad oxidative stress is for your body. So here's the deal. We've identified that the pathway is NRF2. And if you take 5 plant ingredients, combine them together in protandim NRF2, you can flip that switch back on again. What kind of a big deal is that? Well, here's the thing. By flipping the switch, you've lowered the oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. That's not just some made up number. That's a peer-reviewed clinical study looking at blood. Like, you can't fake that. So go look and see what the experts have to say about it. So basically what you're doing is you're lowering that oxidative stress. You're lowering that cellular aging. You see there the kind of the reversal in that cellular aging by 40% in that apple, right? To give you a visual. Another visual I talk about is you have a huge fire, a huge house that's on fire, right? You can sit there and put it out a cup of water at a time, or you can actually activate, or building, you can activate the sprinkler system in the building. The water's already running through the pipes and everything else. It just needs to be turned on. That's what Protandim NRF2 does for your body. In fact, Washington State University just a few years ago said it's the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. It may be the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health, right? That's Washington State University. The National Institute on Aging as well did studies on it. You need to go see these studies for yourself. So how exactly does it work, right? We're talking about this activation. So typical antioxidant production. This is not taking antioxidants. This is what your body produces naturally. Typically, it's lowered as we age, right? As we get older in life, this diminishes or slows down. That's without taking Protandim NRF2. By activating your body, by flipping the switch and telling your body to produce more of those antioxidants and anti-inflammatory enzymes, you'll see that the antioxidant production is boosted back up. So, and like I told you, don't take my word on it. Go to this website. The website's simple, guys. It's pubmed.gov. You'll see there's, I think, 26, 27 peer-reviewed studies on there from the likes of Harvard, Free Radical Biology, Colorado State, Virginia Commonwealth, right? There was a study in there that was published in the Journal of Circulation. Back in the pharmaceutical industry, I used to talk about the Journal of Circulation. It goes out to every cardiologist in the United States. I used to talk about that all the time and use that as a tool when I was sharing, excuse me, the products that I was sharing with my doctors back then. The fact that Protandim has a clinical study in the same prestigious journal, that blew me away. So you see all the different entities that have been studying it. Go to pubmed.gov and go do the research for yourself. So now that we've identified that problem and came up with a solution, the next was to look at how do we turn on those mitochondria again. Remember, that was the second problem, was that they diminish over time and that the sirtuin activity diminishes, right? Don't worry about the big fancy words. Mitochondrial decline, it's like this thing losing its charge, right? Your cell phone starts to lose its charge. You know how it goes like from full and then you get down to like a half a bar left? That's what's going on in your bodies. You've heard about mitochondrial dysfunction and all these problems going on with the mitochondria. They're the powerhouses of our cells. They're the batteries. They're where we get our energy, our cellular energy for everything, breathing, talking, thinking, moving. Everything relies on the energy that is produced by our cells. Unfortunately, like it says, over time, that mitochondrial production goes down. So we've identified that the NRF1 pathway is the one responsible for mitochondria. Again, taking a blend of 5 plant ingredients or 5 natural ingredients in the NRF1 synergizer, Protandim NRF1 synergizer, we're able to flip that switch and turn on the mitochondrial production by 70%. That's huge, guys. So not only are you producing more mitochondria, but larger and healthier mitochondria as well. What does that mean in English? More energy, right? If you increase the cellular production, you're going to increase the energy level of your cells. You're not going to feel like you're sluggish or dragging or fatigued all the time, like the lady was in that picture where she's holding her head and she's going, oh my gosh, it's only 3 o'clock and I'm ready to pass out in the middle of the afternoon. Third problem is sirtuin decline, right? Sirtuin, big fancy name. But basically what sirtuins are responsible for, they're like the garbage men. They degunk the cell. They keep things moving. They lubricate the cell. They keep things moving and get rid of all the waste products and everything else, right? But over time, the sirtuin activity not only decreases, the production of them decreases. And so now you have the waste or the gunk building up, right? And the gears are slowed down. So the NAD pathway is what's responsible for producing sirtuins. In this case, it's 4 ingredients, 4 natural ingredients blended together in the Protandim NAD synergizer, flips that switch. Again, you notice the common theme. It's all about flipping the switch. You activate the pathway. The body produces more sirtuins by 100% in 24 hours. In English, what that means, guys, is you got 2 choices. You can starve yourself on a 600 calorie a day diet. Heck no, that's not happening for me. 600 calorie a day diet. And you'll increase sirtuin activity maybe like 94%, I think is what the studies show. Or you can increase it, you can double it within 24 hours by taking the Protandim NAD synergizer, okay? So we've talked about 3 different pathways. What does that do? You increase that sirtuin activity. All of a sudden the cell gets degunked and it starts moving again, just like it was supposed to. Things that all the cellular processes start happening again. So we've eliminated oxidative stress and we've boosted mitochondrial production to boost our cellular energy. And we've lowered this degunkification of the cells by increasing sirtuin activity, right? So when you flip all 3, here's a summary of what happens. Less oxidative stress, less of that, of the body basically eating itself up, right? That cellular aging, improvement in the cellular energy and improvement in the processes or the degunkification, making that cell actually do what it was supposed to. When you put all 3 together, it also does something very interesting. When I saw this slide, guys, you may not be a science person, and maybe some of the stuff I've talked about is way over your head. But there are some scientists out there that when they saw this, like when I saw it, it blew my mind. Because not only is each product the best in its class, there's nothing else that activates protanum that activates NRF1 like protanum NRF1. There's nothing else that activates NRF2 like protanum NRF2. And there's nothing else that activates NAD or a sirtuin production like our NAD, protanum NAD. But you put the 3 of them together and the results are exponentially better. I mean, look at that. Anywhere from, what is it, 73% on the low end to 838% more activation. Bottom line is the 3 are better than any one of them together. It's not a sum. It's actually a multiplication. They each make the other aspect better. So, excuse me, you ready to flip the switch? What are some of the benefits? And I was kind of talking about those as we were going along. Positive mood and motivation. Who doesn't want to be more motivated, especially in the world we're living in? There's so many things coming at us right now. We want to live not just longer, but healthy longevity, right? We want to improve health span, better focus and clarity and concentration, more mental energy, physical energy, boost your inflammatory response, healthier vascular system, right? Those are things that everybody is looking for, particularly in the crazy world we're living in right now. So if you're ready to flip the switch, let's do it. It's simple. It's the Protandim Tri-Synergizer, guys. Free shipping. Okay, we listened as a company. Like, who doesn't offer free shipping nowadays, right? So we said we're going to offer free shipping, 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You don't like it, send it back, right? We'll give you your money back. It comes out to less than $5 a day. That's less than a cup of Starbucks coffee every day. I don't know if I'm allowed to use brand names. That's less than a cup of one of those super expensive coffees that takes you 20 minutes to order because you got to say all the different things that are in or out of it. It's less than $5 a day, guys. I mean, it's your health. Do it. Activate your body. Get it turned back on again. I didn't even go into all the other products. There's just too many to mention. Axio brain food. Think like focus, clarity, mental concentration. What about getting your gut in check with the probio and the prebio, the healthy bacteria and the healthy fertilizer for your gut? What about Omega Plus? What about losing weight, and not just losing it, but maintaining a healthy weight? Skin, right? I'm really like 95. I know I look like I'm 20, right? No, I'm just kidding. 48 years old, but 48 years old, and I use the skincare system every day, guys. Hair care system, I used it on my beard for our 4-legged friends. We took the same technology, that activation of flipping the switch, and put it into all these different areas, right? I encourage you to get back with whoever shared this with you and challenge them to show you more about each and every one of these. You'll be blown away when you take a look at them. So here's the thing. All these stories are fantastic, right? I could tell you about how I was sleeping better within a couple weeks, how I was waking up before my alarm clock was going off within the first 4 weeks of starting on our products, and how within 6 weeks I was breaking power records on the bicycle. I was recovering like a 20-year-old. I was still racing 20-year-olds, right? I could tell you all those stories, but they're only good if I share them with you. The same thing goes with our products. These stories are only good, or they're better, I should say, when you share them with others. So here's the LifeVantage story. I've shared with you my story. We're 11 years old. We're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, right? Publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Publicly traded. Guys, I almost went into financial advising. When I went into pharmaceutical sales, I had 3 job offers on the table to become a financial advisor. That to me was a huge plug that I could check out the financials of this company and see. And some people thought I was crazy for joining them when I did 9 years ago because the financials weren't great yet. They're phenomenal now, right? We're debt-free. What other company is debt-free? What other company posted record sales in 2020? Our 2020 financials were just released. Record sales for 2020. Okay, we're on to something. Health and the ability to actually earn a little extra income. Come on, guys, we're on to something. Look at who's on our board of directors, right? From some of the most massive companies you've ever seen. We're on the right track right here. NASDAQ, right along Google, Apple, all the other huge companies that are there. Never before in history have people been more concerned with their health than right now. I mean, global health crisis, and people are concerned. Wellness has skyrocketed, and these stats were up through 2018. These don't even include 2019 or 20, guys. Wellness is on the rise. It's what everybody's talking about. The markets are massive. That's why when you're thinking about this and you're hearing about it, you're like, okay, now I know. Who else knows about this? You could be the one sharing this with others that haven't even heard about it yet. When I heard that part, when I saw how big these markets were, I'm like, I'm in. Who doesn't want to be a part of them? We're a $250 million a year company, $233 million a year company. Who doesn't want to grab $1 billion or $2 billion away from some of these different markets? I don't know about you, but I'm in. I want to. How about this? Cosmetics, all the way up through 2017, cosmetics were the #1 market in the network marketing profession. Oh, look what happened the next year. They flip-flopped. People aren't as concerned about their looks as they once were. They want to be healthier from the inside out, all the way around. Not just better looking skin, but healthier, younger looking skin and hair, and their body's healthier. So this business model is literally the perfect business model when you think about it. You can work from home or anywhere you can get a cell service. Virtual office. There's the part I didn't tell you guys before is I also own a bicycle shop. So I've been an employee, I've been an employer, and I've been a network marketer. And let me tell you, being a network marketer is the best out of all three. Why? You can work from wherever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want. Virtual office. This is your office. There's no inventory. You don't have to buy and warehouse samples and products everywhere. You just buy what you want to use for personal consumption. A low cost of entry. It's social sharing, right? You can use Facebook, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all the different LinkedIn. You can share this socially with people. You can share it out in public and when we're allowed to get out and start mingling again. You have your own personal online store. Daily pay, guys. Daily bonuses. That's pretty cool. That's something you're going to want to ask the person who shared this with you more about. And travel. I mean, this company has taken us all over the world, right? When you earn incentive trips, not only are you traveling to go build your business, like our business, my personal business is in 15 of the 20 some odd countries we're in. But you can also earn incentive trips. You know, folks have earned incentive trips to the Bahamas and to Ireland. I've earned them to Puerto Vallarta and Cancun, Mexico, Monterey, California. It's pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about what the potential is, right? All of this is great, but you want to know what's in it for me. So what's in it for you is simple, guys. This is not hypothetical earnings. This is actual earnings that distributors have earned. And this one's through 2019, if I remember correctly. This is last year's earnings. Yes, last year's earnings disclosure. So these are actual earnings. So let's look at the foundational rank, Pro 3. I'm highlighting that one, right? We're not talking you have to get to the top rank of the company. You get to the Pro 3 ranks in the company. That means that your business is doing, a few thousand, $5,000 a month in revenue, right? That's you and your team. And the average commission at that rank is $626 a month. I don't know about you, but when I saw that, and once we achieved that rank, I started thinking about wow, okay, that could pay like a cell phone bill. That could pay like a car payment. Maybe you could pay a car payment and insurance, depending on how nice of a car you drive, right? Start thinking of it in terms of that this is the average monthly income coming in. Of course, if you're like me, you start looking at what's the maximum. Look at that fourth column, right? The fifth column, technically. But look at that column. Next, I looked at Pro 5. Pro 5, middle rank of the company, right? You're halfway through the ranks of the company. At this point, the company is looking at you as more of a leader. $3,000 a month. 3,000 times 12 is 36,000. I said, that's like 36, what, 31, $37,000 a year. $37,000 a year. Guys, I think the median or the mean income or the average income in the US is somewhere around 40 some odd $1,000. That's replacing jobs. That's not just replacing part-time jobs. In some cases, that's replacing full-time jobs, full-time income. That's huge when you think about it. And most Premier Pro 5s that I know have built their business on a part-time basis, not no time. I'm not saying it's zero time, it's network marketing, but they've done it on a part-time basis. I still was a full-time pharmaceutical rep, owned a bicycle shop. Like I said, I've owned a bicycle shop for over 10 years now. I'd been married at that point for, I think, 13 years, 12 years at that point when I joined LifeVantage. Had a 7-year-old son, was working on my 5th state championship in cycling. Like, I was busy and still doing all that, worked my way all the way up to the Premier Pro 5 ranks. In fact, I made it all the way to Pro 6 before I finally said sayonara and ended up going full-time with this to pursue my passion. At this point, I'm a Pro 7 in the company. What does the Elite Pro 7 ranks mean to you? Guys, it means global revenue sharing. It means 13 grand a month. I had to go to school for 4 years to become a physical therapist. Nowadays, it's 6 years minimum, right? I had to have years and years experience, and I never made that as a physical therapist. I did make that in pharmaceutical sales, but it took me about 7 or 8 years to achieve that rank in pharmaceutical sales. It took me 3 years in LifeVantage to hit that rank. And if you look over there, that means I was slower than average. So I ask you, do you have something better? Like that, I don't mean that to be really in your face or anything, but that's what I started asking myself. Like, if not this, then what? What else could I do that would generate that kind of income? And it's leveraged, meaning it's you and a team of people. It doesn't rely 100% on your efforts. It's you and the efforts of many other people that are contributing to this. And along the way, you're helping so many other people achieve all these ranks in the process. Guys, I've never found anything better than this. And I've done it all. I've been an employee, I've been an employer, and I've been a network marketer. I'm telling you, this is the best, especially when you look at how easy it is to get started. It's simple. You pick which pack you want to get started on. My recommendation, of course, is the one that's highlighted all the way to the right, the Platinum Pack. Why? Because you get to try every single product in the company. You get to share those products. You have some left over that you can share with others. You get a ticket, an all-access ticket to the next event. Our next big event, guys, is coming up 1 week from Friday. 1 week from Friday, we have our virtual convention. If you've ever thought about getting started in this business, now's the time. Do it today. Get enrolled today. Get back with the person that shared this with you. Get started wherever you fit in, whichever one of these packs fits you and your budget and your mindset and how big of a business you want to grow. Do it. And let's get you a ticket to that event so that you're in, so that you can get trained. Because that's the next question that people ask. This all sounds great, but I don't know. Can I do it? Of course you can. I've watched people walk across stage before and I've gone, if they can do it, I can do it. And I know that sounds bad, but I mean that with all love and respect. I mean, you see, it doesn't matter. The compensation plan is blind, guys. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, if you're married, divorced, if you like girls, guys, or you're not sure. It doesn't matter if you're what color you are, what race, what religion. None of that matters. The compensation plan is blind. It's got blinders on. It pays for effort. It pays for the person that goes and gets the support and the training, that follows the system, the simple system, that regularly attends some of these meetings. I'm not talking you got to spend all week. I told you guys, I did this part-time. I was putting in 5 hours a week at most. Most weeks it was like 3 or 4 hours a week. That's all I had. I didn't have time to put in at the beginning. Now I put in more time, but this is what I do full-time. But at the beginning, it wasn't. For 2 years, it was a part-time effort. There's all kinds of training, all kinds of incentives, perks, private communities. You have all the support that you need. So here's what it comes down to right now, guys. Look at just some of the things that have happened in the last couple of years, or in the last year, excuse me. Best places to work, launched in Ireland, named Aaron Brockovich to our board. Are you kidding me? I mean, Does it get any better than that? Stevie Award winners for our products, added to the Russell 3000 as far as on the financial side, open for business in New Zealand, post record profits, rings the closing bell at NASDAQ. Yeah, we were right there in NASDAQ, our corporate team right there. That was on Madison Square all day long, right? Sponsor of Real Salt Lake football, AKA soccer team, right? The world's largest sport. We're the Jersey front sponsor with a 10-year partnership. Open in, I think it's a bunch of markets worldwide. This is cool, guys. We give back. Everywhere we go, we give back. This is our families helping families right here, building homes for those that don't have them in Mexico and Puerto Penasco, Mexico. So you just got to ask yourself, this all sounds awesome. You're in one of three categories. One, you need more information, right? Initially, before I saw one of these overviews, that was me. I needed more information. Once I saw the overview and I got to chat with somebody a little bit and learn more, I was like, I'm in. You're either going to do that, you're going to want to become a customer, right? These products sound amazing. Let me get them in my body right now, today. Get back with the person that shared this with you. They will help you get started and start developing your own story on these products. I know, I hear it all the time. Well, I just want to see what it does for me. I get it. I understand. Your story is powerful. It's important. So let's get you going today. Why wait another day? We just told you there's nothing else like this in the world. It's the most important thing a human could take, or a pet, for the pet tandem side of things. Or number three, join the team. I told you, you can get started and have an ID number within 5 minutes. We do these opportunities every single Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. Next week, Jennings is going to knock it out of the park. We have convention the week after that. Like I said, convention, guys, you can get trained. You can hear the stories from the people that are, you pick somebody that's at the rank you want to get to. Maybe you want to be a Master Pro 11 like Carrie Dickey. Go hear her story then. Or maybe you want to be a Master Pro 10 like Brandon and Lynette Cunningham. Go hear their story. Or Pro 9 like Sean and Michelle Poe or Fred Graves. Go hear their story. You will hear their stories at this event. So we encourage you to join us. We're excited for you to join us. I know my energy level is off the charts. Dustin, I'm going to flip it back to you, buddy. Thank you so much.